in the far reaches of the universe, to planets located near a black hole or on the verge of destruction. From the first planet, a set of loving parents places their blue-skinned, big-headed alien baby into an escape pod to send him to safety on Earth, to ensure their baby has a companion and a guide. They also pack his lifelong pet fish, Minion, along with a powerful glowing source of energy, and launch the pod into space. Coincidentally, a neighboring planet is suffering the exact same fate, prompting another family to launch their golden boy baby in a luxurious golden escape pod. From that very moment, while drifting in space, a fierce rivalry is born between the two infants inside their respective pods. Upon arriving on Earth, their pods take drastically different paths. The Golden Boy's pod lands smoothly inside the lavish mansion of a wealthy tycoon, where he is showered with love and luxury. On the other hand, the Blue Alien Baby's pod crashed straight into the courtyard of a maximum security prison. The inmates adopt the blue baby and raise him as their own. Growing up around criminals, the baby develops a highly peculiar set of mischievous talents, which ironically keeps him locked up inside the prison system for years. When he grows a bit older, prison officials enroll him in a local school to help him learn good behavior and fit into society. Naturally, he crosses paths with his childhood rival at school. Thanks to his dazzling superpowers, the Golden Boy instantly becomes the most popular, beloved student, eager to fit in and impress his classmates. The Blue Alien Baby uses his natural genius and his energy source to create brilliant inventions. Unfortunately, everything he makes goes hilariously wrong. While his peers are learning basic things like spider biology, the Blue Boy is already mastering advanced physics, even creating a dehydration gun that can shrink living organisms into tiny cubes and rehydrate them back to life. Despite his intellect, he becomes a total outcast, with the little fish, Minion, as his only loyal friend. Realizing that no matter how hard he tries to do good, it always turns into a disaster. The Blue Boy undergoes an epiphany. If I am only good at being bad, then I will be the baddest villain of them all. He adopts the villainous persona of Megamind. Meanwhile, his golden-skinned rival grows up to become the legendary flying superhero and savior of Metro City. Known as Metro Man, for years, Megamind plays the role of the ultimate supervillain, repeatedly terrorizing Metro City. While Metro Man always swoops in to stop him, it becomes a never-ending cycle of hero versus villain banter. Currently, Megamind is locked away in prison while the citizens are holding a grand celebration for the opening of the Metro Man Museum. Using his clever holographic disguise watch, Megamind tricks the guards, breaks out of prison, and kidnaps his favorite hostage, the famous news reporter Roxanne Ritchie. While Metro Man is giving an inspiring speech to the citizens, Megamind interrupts the broadcast via a large projection screen, showing Roxanne tied up in his secret lair. He threatens that if Metro Man doesn't save her immediately, it will be her last day alive. Metro Man, unfazed, confidently reassures Roxanne not to panic. Ironically, Roxanne isn't scared at all because she has been kidnapped by Megamind dozens of times. In fact, she casually looks around and reads out loud the exact address and description of the building they are in. A flustered Megamind hastily turns off the projector screen, realizing his secret hideout has just been leaked. Metro Man rushes to the location, but instead of finding Roxanne, he realizes he has walked right into an observatory. It was all a giant trap. Megamind has tricked Metro Man, locking him inside a room that is about to be blasted by a lethal, concentrated beam of solar energy from a satellite weapon in space. Megamind dramatically orders the strike, but Minion hilariously ruins the villain's grand moment because the machine is still warming up and taking forever to fire. Fortunately for Megamind, Metro Man is trapped inside the room and cannot escape. However, Metro Man suddenly panics and gasps over the communicator that the room is lined with copper, and copper is his one ultimate weakness. Seizing the accidental opportunity, Megamind unleashes the fully charged death ray directly onto the building. The observatory explodes into a massive fireball. When the smoke clears, all that is left of the superhero is a charred skeleton. Metro Man is dead. The boredom of having no rival. With Metro Man gone, Megamind successfully conquers Metro City. The terrified citizens surrender, and the media interviews Megamind. asking what his grand plan for the city is. In truth, Megamind never actually expected to win, so he has absolutely no idea what to do next. He gives a few confused, awkward answers to the reporters and walks away. From that day on, Megamind and Minion run amok, doing whatever they want and vandalizing the city. Soon, the thrill wears off. Megamind realizes that having everything he ever wanted is actually incredibly boring. He deeply misses the excitement of kidnapping Roxanne and fighting Metro Man. Overwhelmed with grief and regret, Megamind visits the Metro Man statue in disguise to mourn his old rival, to avoid being recognized by Roxanne, who also happens to be visiting the memorial. Megamind uses his disguise watch to transform into Bernard, a nerdy museum curator. Believing he is just a regular guy, Roxanne starts chatting with Bernard, and the two bond over memories of the good old days with Metro Man. Roxanne, entirely unaware of his true identity, comforts a depressed Megamind by telling him, "Heroes aren't born, they're made." This inspires Megamind. He realizes he can harvest Metro Man's DNA from a leftover dandruff sample on a cape and inject it into a new person, creating a brand new superhero to fight against. He and Minion happily get to work in their lab and successfully synthesize the superpower serum. However, things go off the rails when Roxanne unexpectedly visits the real Bernard's office. Megamind, who is currently chilling in his villain lair, has to scramble. He rushes to the museum, juggling between his real villain form, a scary holographic monster to frighten her away, and his Bernard disguise. Amidst the comedic chaos, Roxanne stumbles upon the injection gun containing the superhero serum. Mistaking it for a weapon, she accidentally fires it, and the serum shoots out, flies out the window, and hits her nerdy, incompetent cameraman, Hal Stewart, creating a monster. Hal is a total loser who has never achieved anything in life and has a massive, unrequited crush on Roxanne. Megamind and Minion spy on Hal and watch him transform into a muscular, superpowered being. Seizing the opportunity, Megamind uses his holographic tech to disguise himself as Hal's space father and occasionally space mother to train him into a legendary hero named Titan. Though Hal accidentally spells it Titan, Hal completely buys into the story. To give Hal a heroic motivation, Megamind encourages him to woo Roxanne. Meanwhile, Roxanne is depressed by the mountains of trash piling up in the abandoned city. Wanting to make her happy, Megamind uses his dehydration gun to compress the trash into neat little cubes. Cleaning up the streets, the city starts feeling alive again, and Megamind is genuinely happy spending time with Roxanne as Bernard. However, Minion notices this change and grows deeply concerned. Minion prepares a massive array of battle suits and weapons for Megamind's upcoming fight with Titan, but Megamind is completely distracted, picking out clothes for his date with Roxanne. Minion confronts Megamind, telling him that a villain falling in love with a civilian is wrong and against the rules of being bad. Megamind snaps and admits he doesn't want to be the bad guy anymore. Hurt by his friend's change of heart, a furious Minion leaves him. On his date with Roxanne, everything goes perfectly until Hal Titan crashes the party. Having been brutally rejected by Roxanne earlier, Hal is furious to see her on a date with a nerdy guy like Bernard. In the middle of the confrontation, Roxanne accidentally touches Bernard's watch, causing the holographic disguise to fail. Megamind's true blue form is exposed to the world. Horrified and heartbroken, Roxanne walks away, refusing to listen to his explanations. A devastated Megamind drives away in his invisible car, accidentally abandoning it on the street out of sheer sorrow. The next day, Megamind puts on his ultimate battle suit and goes to face Titan, expecting an epic, classic hero versus villain showdown. He waits for hours, but Titan never shows up. Megamind tracks him down to his apartment, only to find Titan playing video games with a pile of stolen luxury goods. Hal has no interest in being a hero. Instead, he suggests that he and Megamind team up to rule and plunder the world together. Disgusted and disappointed, Megamind reveals the entire truth. He confesses that he is the Space Father, that the whole hero training was a sham, and that he was the Bernard who was dating Roxanne. Enraged by the humiliation, Titan snaps completely, turns into a ruthless villain, and viciously attacks Megamind. Outmatched, Megamind loses the fight. But instead of putting him in prison like Metro Man used to do, A bloodthirsty Titan tries to execute him. Terrified, Megamind tries to use Copper against Titan, but it does absolutely nothing. Realizing Titan has no weaknesses, Megamind barely escapes with his life. Megamind finds Roxanne and begs for her help, warning her that Titan has gone rogue and needs to be stopped. Since Copper failed, they need to find Titan's actual weakness. They deduce that Metro Man's secret hideout might hold the answers. So Megamind and Roxanne travel there together. Roxanne asks if they can just extract the powers back out of hell. Megamind explains that they can, but the diffusing gun is locked inside his invisible car, which he abandoned somewhere on the streets and can no longer locate. When they arrive at the hideout, they discover it is actually their old childhood schoolhouse. Inside, they find all of Metro Man's old gear, and to their absolute shock, Metro Man himself is alive and well. Metro Man calmly explains everything. On the day of the observatory explosion, he suffered a midlife crisis. Overwhelmed by the endless pressure of being the city's perfect savior, he used his super speed, moving faster than light, to fake his own death, leaving a fake skeleton behind while taking a long walk to clear his head. He realized that he and Megamind were trapped in a meaningless cycle driven purely by the public's demands. He decided to retire from being a hero to pursue his true passion, acoustic music. He reveals that Copper was never his weakness. He just lied to make his fake death look convincing. He tells Megamind that everyone has a choice and encourages him to find his own true path in life. From ultimate villain to Metro City's savior. Disappointed that Metro Man refuses to help save the city, a defeated Megamind gives up and willingly surrenders himself back into the maximum security prison. Shortly after, Titan kidnaps Roxanne, binds her to the top of a skyscraper, and gives Megamind a 1-hour ultimatum to face him. Megamind begs the prison warden to let him go save her, but the warden cold-heartedly refuses, stating Megamind still has 88 life sentences left to serve. Megamind sinks into deep despair, regretting all the chaos he caused, how he lied to the girl he loved, and how he pushed away his best friend, Minion. Just then, the warden smiles and uses a watch to reveal his true form. It was Minion in disguise all along. He came back to rescue his friend. Megamind and Minion pull off an epic entrance to face Titan. During the chaotic battle, a giant skyscraper is toppled over Megamind. Just as Titan thinks he won, Metro Man suddenly flies into the sky, booming with power. Terrified by the return of the legendary hero, Titan flees in fear. Roxanne runs to greet Metro Man, only to find him glowing blue. It was actually Minion using a holographic disguise, while the real Megamind was executing the plan. Unfortunately, Titan realizes the trick and flies back in a rage. Knowing Megamind isn't the real deal, Titan brutally beats him up, badly bruised and running out of options. Megamind frantically searches the street during the fight and accidentally stumbles upon his lost invisible car. He smashes the window to grab the diffusing gun, but Titan throws him high into the sky. As Megamind plummets to the ground, facing certain death, he remembers his old dehydration gun. Right before hitting the concrete, he fires the gun at himself, instantly turning into a tiny blue cube that bounces safely into a nearby fountain. Submerged in water, Megamind instantly rehydrates back to full size, catches the diffusing gun falling from the sky, and shoots Titan straight in the chest. The serum is successfully extracted, and Hal shrinks back into a powerless, ordinary human being. Metro City is finally safe. Megamind, the lifelong outcast and supervillain, is embraced by the cheering crowd, officially becoming the new, beloved savior of Metro City. Even if a person makes the wrong choices their entire life, a single right choice at the right moment is all it takes to become a true hero.